Welcome to the Tearing It Up podcast. I'm your host, Taryn. We'll be tearing it up, tearing it down, and tearing it apart, dissecting all things related to those who deviate from the standard. From leaders of their industry to leaders of mediocrity, and maybe a gear review or two thrown in. We shoot the shit and let the conversations flow, so if that's not your style, this may not be for you. Otherwise, listen in. Hope to light a fire in you somehow. We did it, we're here. We're back, so it feels like it's been forever because we actually, the last time we recorded was July 8th, and it's now July 25th. Yeah, it's so weird because it feels like we missed like 1 week. And but like somehow it's like 20 days later almost. Like, I don't know, I don't get it, I don't get time, don't understand it. But we missed last week because it's summer and schedules are just crazy, shit's going on, hard to nail everything down.
You're adjusting to being back to in town, off vacation, road tripping back home.
Yep, had a lot
from vacation.
Yeah, had a lot to do, and then it was just kind of wham bam back in the swing of things, trying to get back and used to life in the trailer, which is that like not adjustment. We've been here for a year, but our fridge broke, so that's kind of like reverting back to when we first moved into the fifth wheel and we didn't have our full like the powerful generator, like solar generator we have now and stuff, and we were really just running off the battery and didn't have things fully up in here yet because we're trying to see how they work. Like, yeah, our fridge has been down for like a week, so we don't have any fucking food. It's like I got a cooler right now with just a couple things in it, but hopefully Andrew can get it fixed tonight. But
Andrew,
yeah, a fuse went out, but the fuse in it is just it's not an average fuse that you can just buy from the fucking store. We can't find it anywhere. And so we're actually going to try and like rewire it to just a normal 2-prong fuse, because we've looked this up on the YouTubes a couple of times, and we found a couple people who have had the same problem. And so yeah, they're just like, it's easier to rewire it because when this fuse goes out, we have to pull the whole refrigerator. So there's the refrigerator in the background. It doesn't see, the way that the wall is behind it, it looks like it's just in there, but it's out of its hole.
Yeah.
So it sits in a little hole in the wall. We had to unscrew it from the wall, pull it out to get to the fuse. And so the way that we're going to hopefully be able to rewire it will allow it to go through the little exit hole where the air comes out. So then you just have to take off the little front vent on the bottom of the fridge and be able to change the fuse that way if it goes out again. Because yeah, like it seems like this is an issue that happens commonly, not like all the time. Like I said, we've been in here for a year now, over a year. We've had the fifth wheel since last April. Like it's not happened to us a bunch, but yeah, I don't know if it's the heat or what fucking caused it, but yeah, it's just like a thing. And then the moths, they were still around. I don't know. Did I ever even tell the story? No, I told the story of the moths. I think that
you told me in person, and I don't know if it was on here, but I'm pretty sure we talked about how you hurt yourself.
Yeah, I fell off the chair because I'm like, we recorded one time in Washington.
One time before you left.
Yeah, when I was at your house, and I think I talked about it then. But anyways, we came back from Washington and there were moths, and I was just so thankful to have Andrew with me this time to just like witness it, so people don't think I'm fucking crazy and like so terrified of these tiny little bugs that don't hurt you at all. But like in a small space, it's in that many, it's not like, it's just it's gross.
Yeah.
So he thankfully went on a killing spree when we got home. We just had like our broom and stuff. The next day we like go to the hardware store, get one of those electric like rackets and a lantern, like trying to keep them outside. We got these solar lights outside that just turn like a motion solar lights, so those will be those turn on, and so we're hoping to just like draw all the bugs away. But so I got home on like the 18th of July or something, last Sunday, a week and a half ago or something. And the last few days There's been very limited moths. I've only seen like one or two, very randomly, like one this morning that may have flown in. And then like, yeah, so I think they're going away. I think they
Yay.
were the migrating kind of moth. So yeah, hopefully that's all
And
gone.
you
And
guys made it home
we
safe?
made it home. We did a strong just push like we always do. Um, but yeah, so dealt with the moths for a few days once we got home. Then the fridge went down, and Tug has an ear infection, and he couldn't get into the vet until, oh yeah, he goes tomorrow. Shit. Um,
Right.
he, and then I ordered some stuff like from this local lady, like a herbal kind of remedy on Saturday. I was hoping I'd be able to just get it because I did a pickup and she's in town, I think. Doesn't mean she's actually physically in town. Maybe she's like out of town or I don't know, is busy. But
Yeah.
since she's somewhere local and it was a pickup, I was hoping I could like get it this weekend, but I still haven't got it. So damn it, now we're just gonna have to go with the probably antibiotics and stuff, which I'm sure we would have had to do honestly anyways at this point. But just a lot of shit going on in the like short week that we've been
Yeah.
back. But
Yeah.
um
That is a lot, dude.
yeah.
And working, getting back to work, like
Yeah, like straight in, like
both of you guys. Is Andrew back at work?
not really.
Okay.
He's still waiting to start work with his buddy who has his construction business, but he's met up with him. He met up with him last night, might meet up with him again tonight, and he's got a couple big jobs, big excavating jobs like on the books. I think they're like it for sure in it. It's like a couple months of work, and so hopefully that means he can start next so he can have that work for a couple months. It's been really nice having him around a lot more often though, because I feel like I've been able to do stuff. Like last summer, especially being up here at the property, I felt a little trapped a little bit just with like the
Yeah.
dogs. Like it's hard. We can't just leave them up
You're
here because it
half an
gets
hour out of town, dude.
half an hour out of town, and then like, it gets hot in this little fifth wheel. So we can't leave him in here all day long. And, we can take him to his parents' house. I just feel bad, doing that every fucking day and selfish if I'm like going on a bike ride and then having to go to work. It's like I would just hang out with the dogs and then go to work. So it wasn't, yeah, I was missing out on a lot of riding or paddling or anything fun, is how I felt. But again, it's like, oh, that's selfish of me. And
But it happens that mom guilt. It even
yeah,
happens with doggos.
totally. And so it's been nice with Andrew being around a lot more often. I still feel bad that I'm just leaving him to the single dad life or something. But yeah, I've been able to get out on my bike a lot or go to the gym. Granted, I pretty much missed the whole month of July. Well, as far as like
Lake
being in
time.
Tahoe and
Yeah.
whatever. But I had a great time in Washington. I wouldn't regret it or anything. But now I'm ready to get on my bike, get on the lake, and do a bunch. So I'm like, oh no, how am I going to navigate this? Like trying to get back on the schedule of Andrew working full time. But my schedule in the shop is pretty limited. So I'm still lucky, at least there, that like, yeah, I can go I can go for a bike ride and then I can come back home and work from home with the dogs instead of having to worry about working at the shop 3 days a week. I will be in the shop a couple days a week in August, but again, the schedule is just kind of sporadic. But it'll be all right. I'll find all the ways that I'm still getting fulfilled and I'm not just leaving my doggies like latchkey puppies.
Were you a latchkey kid?
No way.
Yeah.
No, I
Me
wasn't.
neither.
I was really lucky though because my mom didn't work. So my mom was always home, and where we lived anyways, like, I mean, I always say that this, like, we moved to the house my parents are in now when I was almost 11 years old, and that was a much nicer neighborhood. But when I was young, like in all my elementary school, we lived in a really shitty neighborhood in Tacoma. So there's no fucking way my parents would have ever left us home alone.
Yeah.
They were like, I mean, we were on the corner street, drive-bys, just fucking shit all the time. So I mean, not drive-bys all the time, but things really close by.
Mhm.
But anything
Not
could
much has
happen.
changed.
No, not much has changed in Tacoma, that's for sure. But yeah, they were not gonna be down with that. And then, like I said, my mom um was a stay-at-home mom for most of my childhood, so she was always home, so that was nice. And then we were just always outside playing and stuff. But yeah, always doing something. But
Always.
um
Proven, baby.
yeah. But yeah, so a little catch up. I mean, we mostly kind of did it, but July 8th was our last recording. It was at the Sturdy Dirty. So if you haven't listened to that, our latest episode, because I posted it on, I think, the next Sunday or Monday because I was just so excited about the episode. I didn't want to wait for a Thursday to drop it. And I also had high hopes we were going to be able to get a recording or two in and get back on our Thursday schedule, but like whatever, because we had that episode, we were only technically like 1 week behind.
Yeah.
But it was a really great episode, and the sound turned out better than I thought it would because it was live. We were outside.
People were wooing. Vibes were high, man.
People were wooing because we were right by the finish line of the race. So there's people walking by, yelling, cheering. There was music or something. I think they had music playing. Not a band or anything, but just the speakers. I don't know. There was just shit going on.
Yeah.
And we didn't have headphones or anything like that, so we couldn't tell really what other sound was coming in. And at one point I looked over at the screen, or I think I maybe tried to play a clip, and it was like I couldn't hear it like at all. So I was like, oh no. But when I got home and did it, I was like, oh wow, okay, no, you can hear people a lot better. Because that's the thing, we just had one microphone too. We were trying to kind of figure out how to do that, whether it was going to capture everyone's sound. We started handing it off to people, and like so we made it work, and it was awesome. And I want to do something like that again. Just the vibe was really cool, kind of short, punchy little interviews. So, and it
but
was
it's still a great way to give people a feel for what it's like to actually be there, because there's so much going on all the time, all over the place. Like, it's overwhelming. I think I was like a bit shell-shocked when I first got there. I was like, holy crap, this is what people do in the woods.
Yeah,
this is awesome.
It was really awesome. And like we're podcasting in the woods. It's great. Yeah. So I just want to do that again more. And now we know like what works. Obviously it's still all going to be a little bit of a test, but yeah, I loved just kind of grabbing people and asking them if they want to come chat, because it was also a great way to network and meet people, where each one of our guests that we had just had so much more we could have talked about with. And a couple of them I definitely plan on having back. I've already reached, well, one, she didn't actually make it on, but she was a friend of Spike. So again, if you listen to that episode, you'll hear from Spike. She was our last guest, which I forgot to try and record an outro to the episode, so it kind of just ends at Spike's. But
great note to end on, man. That was like so powerful to talk to her.
It was amazing. So April Katz, she is a friend of Spike. She is involved with the Arrow Project. So we're actually going to be talking to her next week. So I'm really excited about that, to learn more about the Arrow Project. Again, you have to listen to this Sturdy Dirty episode, because what you'll hear from our last guest, Spike, on there is a little bit about the Arrow Project and what it is. And then we get to dive deeper into it with April and find out what she does in and around that project and everything. And then Casey, I think it's Westbrook. She's a mountain bike coach, personal trainer. I reached out to her about having her back on. I also do want to talk to Spike more too. And yeah, it just it was a great way to quickly meet some people and network and introduce the podcast to them, because it's hard just cold reaching out to people. I mean,
it's hard.
It's like some people don't have a hard time with that and wouldn't say it's hard. And I'm getting better at it, because I'm
so proud of you, dude.
Like, there's just a couple things in my life that I feel like I just have to do that now. And I'm just like, whatever. Like, I don't fucking care. You say no, you say no. But if you don't try, you're never gonna know. And I have a podcast pitch deck for us, and it looks super nice and professional, I feel like. So that's so
cool.
When people see that, they get a little bit of an insight about the podcast, about me and Amber, like personally, and then our relationship together and stuff. And I have a few of our like top episodes on there so they can give it a little listen sample. So, I feel like it's not just a random person reaching out. Like we have stuff behind us that people can feel like, oh, well, yeah, it's the real deal. Do we have a gazillion followers or whatever? Like, no, but we're really trying to put the effort in and make it something and not just a project, but it is just a project. Like, but I think people can't take it serious.
Start. Yeah, that's how things start. You got to just start somewhere. You just got to do it. And I will say, I like, as your like biggest admirer, like you keep on like surprising me. And when you were like, I want to record at the Sturdy Dirty, I was kind of like, yeah, okay, Jaren. Like, I didn't think that you were gonna like really go through with it and were as serious with it as you were. And like, we loaded up snacks, we grabbed a fucking table, some blankets, and brought the computer and the mic. I think we like rolled over to our campsite on bikes, walked back over right after you friggin' took podium, you bad bitch. And we just like posted up right next to the Smith booth, and we were just like, okay, we're here now, we're recording. And I like in my head, in my narrative head, I was like, oh God, are these a part of the rules? Like, are we gonna get in trouble? Should we ask for permission? Like, is anyone gonna get mad at us? And you're just like, we're here now. And it was just we were taking shots. Like,
okay, so I love that you said all that, because everything you just said were the exact thoughts running through my head. I was like, oh, I don't know if we should set up next to the Smith tent. Like, I don't want to, like, we knew one of our friends works for Smith and she was there, but I didn't want to like step on their toes. I didn't want to, block their way, or, like, they weren't selling anything there, at least, or, but they were introducing people to product and stuff like that, because I didn't want to like just all of a sudden bombard them, be in their way. I had no idea if it was like okay with the Sturdy Dirty that we were like set up there, but also I'm like, well, we're not like, I don't know, I don't think we're doing anything wrong, because it's just the same as anyone posting a story on Instagram, right? How many people there are recording on Instagram and posting stories and stuff, and so hopefully it wasn't wrong to them. No one came over and said anything to us, so I think it was fine. And if they would have, then we would have immediately shut it down. But this is,
and if it still is not a great thing, please DM us or message Taryn. Or
and so I reached out to them before, like a month before the race, and I asked the Sturdy Bitches, that's the organization putting the Sturdy Dirty together, if they would be on the podcast. And they were really busy leading up to the race, so of course there was no time before, but they said, hopefully after. So I felt like I don't know who, does their Instagram or messaging. I'm sure that they were at the event though. So I'm like, hopefully maybe they see like the koozie or something, or see the posts after, and either they're not going to respond to me anymore about being on, or they're gonna be like, hey, yeah, we saw you there, but we were obviously so fucking busy, like that we couldn't come say anything. But there's plenty of administrators around that could have like come up and asked questions. We had the computer, like Amber said, and the mic set up, so it's like it was pretty obvious we were fucking doing something. That if there was a big concern, I think someone would have been like, hi, so like, are you recording? Because that's not allowed because of some kind of trademark fucking permissions, this, that, the other. I don't know. But this is a saying, but I don't really think it stuck with me, because I'm just not that kind of person. I was always the ask permission person. But I got it from my boss, who was like, ask for forgiveness, not permission. So I'm rolling with it.
But for real, I mean, I fully believe in that too. Like, how else does like actual real change happen in real time?
Yep. Yeah.
And you never know unless you try. And that's literally my motto through all of life. Like, just fucking do it.
Exactly.
Just try it out and figure it out. You never know until you try. And then once you try and it happens, and then you have feelings about it, you're like, oh, okay, that's how I feeling about that.
Yeah. I mean, that's how the podcast started. That's how I started my business. That's how I've done everything I've done. Every job I've had, I pretty much had no experience or business like doing it before I did it for the first time. I was just like, hey, I would like to be a guide in Alaska. So how do
Yeah.
I go do that? No, I've never been on a zip line. No, I've never like moved out of this state. No, I've never been kayaking on the ocean. Like, no, I've never done all like I was a
Yeah.
fucking mountain bike coach before I ever like owned a full suspension mountain bike and only rode a couple trails behind my house with Hillary like before then, like you just that's how I
Gotta try
learn
it.
is by
Yeah,
just
that's how freaking
fucking
everybody learns. And it's like you can
head
take all the
first.
school in the world, which I'm not like downing education. I'm all here for further education, but like the best training and experience you'll get is on hand, hands on.
Life, baby. Yeah.
Life,
Yep.
baby.
Life, baby. So it was a great fucking experience. And I've made, I don't know, quite a few posts since, maybe not quite a few, a handful of posts, whatever, since the Sturdy Dirty. I just did a newsletter. I think I sent it last night with a little recap. So if you guys have seen that, heard that, like it may be old news to you, but I dropped down a category from at the Sturdy Dirty and did the light course because a big part of me just wanted to experience the Sturdy Dirty like completely. Like I wanted to be able to do the race, but I also wanted to be a part of what was happening at the bottom, the party, the day, the vendors, just like see what everything was all about. Maybe like
Fucking set up
best,
a podcast recording,
yeah,
bitch.
my like best friends are there. I'm like, what are they gonna do all day without me? I brought them here. I want to hang out with them because I literally don't have another day after this to probably hang out with all three of them. So it'd
Yeah.
be kind of a bummer that I drug them all up
Together.
here and then I
Together.
don't even get to hang out with them. And it's my fucking birthday and
Yes,
my fucking
bitch.
race. So yeah, just that on top of the course that I pre-rode, like it felt awful. And oh, that's where I left off, not left off, but in the episode before the Sturdy Dirty, I mentioned like I might drop down a category, but there was a huge difference between the category. The light
Yeah.
course was about 3.8 miles and 900 feet of elevation gain, while the next level of course was about 12 miles and like 24 or 2600 feet of climbing. Big fucking difference. I wanted to be somewhere in the middle. I'm like, I could do like 7 to 8 miles and 1500 vert. Like, that would be great. There was really this top section that I didn't want to do. I didn't feel comfortable riding. I knew I was going to be like white knuckling, feeling like shit, probably fall off my bike, just be like really stressed and pressured. And then the light course, I'd done that trail a couple of times, maybe like 3 times before. It's really flowy and fun, but it's just that short section. But I also knew that that kind of riding would be what made me feel good and have fun on my bike, whereas the other section of the course was like, this is not going to give me like stoke to get back on my bike.
Yeah.
And since the Sturdy Dirty, like before the race and after, I heard many of people talk about that section.
Yeah.
Like that was not a beginner section. That section was hard. And I mean, I'll say I was like, I didn't do the beginner course because I feel like I'm a beginner mountain biker. I'm not saying I'm fucking good and fast and the best mountain biker there is, but I did the beginner course because I've never done a fucking race and I had no idea what to expect.
Yes.
So I wanted to start
Yes.
there in a category of people where I would feel less pressure and be able to maybe stick it out. But with that being said, there's many people who maybe thought of themselves as more of a beginner biking than like what I do. And yeah, people were like, that section was not fucking friendly. I just spoke to a girl from the Dames of Dirt, another fellow Dames of Dirt member who was at the race. She did the sport category. I saw her at North Star. We did it. We did an event. Dames of Dirt did an event on Sunday at North Star, just a big meeting, like a bike ride. And so I went to that, and that's where I got to meet her in person. And yeah,
Awesome.
I talked about it, and she was like, yeah, that it was rough. Like that was not a friendly section. So I felt good about my decision that I didn't have all these things worked up in my head. Like they were legitimate feelings, and especially coming off of that crash, that I had. I'm gonna go back and do CCDH. I have no
Yeah.
problem trying to do it again. I just didn't want to do it in the
That
race.
day, in that moment,
Yeah.
in that space. And also, you talked to a lot of people who had same opinions before the race about
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah.
And were like, everything you were saying, they were saying.
Multiple people dropped to the light category after doing their pre-ride because they were like, whoa, this is more than I expected. On top of that, like even just the climb after those sections, climbing again another 600 and some feet, and then getting to the fun blowy section. I was just not physically prepared for that after not riding my bike for 3 weeks. And um oh, so Shelby, the gal I talked to, the other Dames of Dirt member who did the sport category, she said, and this is what I suspected, that it was going to be I think she was up there for like 6 or 7 hours.
Damn,
So
dude.
that's a long day because
That's a long day.
I don't think my category took off till 11. I think the beginner category started at like 10, but then yeah, she was, up there to like 4 because there was just such a bottleneck of racers getting down their stages. So yeah, that's just not what I wanted to do. I didn't want to sit up there
Yeah.
alone. And I wouldn't have been alone. I'm sure I would have met friends, but I know myself and I know that I would have been so anxious about
Mhm.
the ride down and then the climb back up that I wouldn't have been up there like partying and just drinking because they had like fireball and, just shots and beer and all this stuff around because
Champagne
it's,
service.
yeah, just a really fun event and treats
Yeah.
and all this. Like,
And donkeys, mini ponies. There was mini ponies there.
yeah, I didn't make it that far to see any of that stuff, but yeah, I wouldn't have been able to like let loose completely because there's a very fine line of having the liquid courage versus like, oh, I'm gonna really wreck myself because I'm
Yeah.
fucking hammered. So yeah, all in all, it was great and it gave me the experience that I wanted out of Sturdy Dirty by, like I said, getting to see every part of it from camping Friday night, which, was a little bit more lackluster than I thought that it might be. Everyone was pretty like to bed
Bedtime's
early
at
and
9,
yeah,
bitches.
we're closing her down and we weren't quite ready for that, but that's okay. It was still again part of that experience, and I wished I had been able to talk to a few more people. One of the gals who works for Wild Rise, she was a founder of Dames and of Dirt. So wanted to go over there and talk to Mariah and ask her to come over. But every time I looked over at the tent, I felt like she was working, like, and they
Mhm.
were selling stuff. So I was like, I don't know if I can go ask her. And but I should have. But I'm hoping I can, at least still have contacts that I could get a hold of her and like have her
Yeah.
on the podcast. But it would have been cool to be able to do it in the moment. But hopefully I can get a hold of someone from the Sturdy Bitches and they have no issue with what we did there and would like to come talk to us.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it
For
was
real.
good. It was great. That was, just a few days into my trip to Washington. And then the rest of the trip was just a whirlwind of hanging out, seeing my brother and sister-in-law, niece, and both nephews. I met the new nephew
Oh my
finally. I can't say
gosh.
finally because it had only been a month, but he's
Yeah,
just
but still,
yeah.
it happened. You got to meet him when he's brand new.
Yeah, so that was really cool. And my niece and nephew are stoked about riding their bikes, and Delia just
Mhm.
got her first pedal bike right after I left. So it was just like so fun having like this trip be everyone be stoked about bikes. Like, fuck
Yeah, yeah,
yes,
yeah, yeah,
yes.
yeah. It's happening. It's happening.
Jen got a new bike, my sister-in-law, when I was there too.
Awesome.
So I'm just like,
Yes, mom. So
all
deserving.
I
Good
know all
job,
I want to
sister.
do is like go home again to ride bikes. Like, okay, can we all go
Ah!
on bike rides now?
Oh,
I was bummed Jen didn't get her bike back, where her and I could just like go bike around town or something. But next time, like
yeah.
I don't know when actually what the weather will be like when I can make it back because I won't be able to go in September, that's for sure.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, lots of bikes, lots of babies, and then Andrew actually came back from Alaska. He flew to Washington, so that was a super awesome for him to be able to spend a few days with me in Washington and see the fam because he hasn't got to see them in a while. And I had the
Drive
dogs with
back
us.
with you.
So yep, we
Yeah.
were all there. Got to do the whole drive back with all my boys, and And it was great. And now here we are, except back just in the real fucking swing of things. And it's about to be August next week. And I'm like, whoa, what the fuck happened? Like
Yeah.
next week, you know, we're already going to be talking about our big Labor Day sale and then our Avalanche education series, where I feel like it's going to be this weird balance of my mind is 2 months ahead because I'm planning all of our like winter events and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But then physically I'm in summer where I'm going to be like, wait, what's happening? What month is it?
Yep.
And it's going to be hard because this happens to me all the time when my mind
Same.
switches seasons. It's hard to
Mhm.
remember to do the things like to say, oh yeah, I need to go ride my bike because it's not actually fucking December and
Yeah.
snowing. So I need to go
Yeah.
out and do that. So I gotta try and make
That's a
myself
for
like a
real
little,
thing and it's
yeah,
happening. Every time August hits, I'm like, "Oh, it's creeping in. The cold is like
yeah.
even though it's full on not, like you can just feel it in like the light of day or like the temperature. It's like a real and then seasonal depression creeps in and then you're like,
Yeah.
"But
Yeah, it's crazy. Um, it was pretty hot when we got back, but the last couple days haven't been too hot. They've been a little bit breezy. It's just insane to me that it's so green here in Tahoe still, because Washington was like bone dry and brown. I was
Mhm.
like, what the fuck? Like Tahoe's greener than Washington in the middle of July. This is
Scary."
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I just hope that, you know, everyone stays smoke free. Hope we stay green down here and things stay calm up there. But August, I get scared in August, honestly, because
Same.
August just gets hot
Mhm.
everywhere. Um, so I get a little worried, but that's all the more reason that every single day I need to be like, okay, I gotta get
Yes,
outside. I
yes,
gotta go
yes,
do
yes,
something
yes,
because
yes.
it's like,
Fabulous transition, dude.
yeah, gotta do
I
it,
was
gotta
like,
do it.
oh,
Oh, yeah, seriously, back to the
I
smiles. Oh,
forgot about that
so
part.
speaking of biking again. Well, I went to North Star. Like I said, Dames of Dirt put on an event. It was really cool. It was a ride at North Star. We got discount lift tickets, and then they had a dinner, like an après dinner with a drink at this pub that's in the village at North Star, and then there was a little panel of local women, a couple athletes like Michelle Parker. She's a professional skier. She's been a professional skier for years. If you're into skiing at all, you probably know who Michelle Parker is. Red Bull athlete, all the things. She's amazing. Um, she was speaking, and then a local girl, Anna Yamaguchi, which was awesome because her mother is actually an ambassador for Tahoe Mountain Sports. So I know her mom, Kim. I work with her because I do the marketing, obviously, and Kim's just been a great customer anyways too. So I know her from the store for that. And Anna now is like a professional gravel racer, and then there was another local gal. I mean, they're all local, obviously, but and then this other girl, Danny, who is the um like patrol I think it was the patrol director is her role. So
Mhm.
for year round at North Star, so ski patrol and bike patrol like program director, whatever, manages it all and is a patroller herself. And yeah, just badass ladies. And so it's just one of the gals who put on the event who works for North Star. She had a handful of questions for them, so they just kind of went around and answered the same questions. And again, I want to talk to Danny and hear more about her story. With I got to hear a lot from her. Just she sat at my table, so before the panel started, she kind of spoke about her journey and story into being into patrol, because she started like very early where there was like no other women patrollers. And um she stuck it out and she made it to being a full-time high level manager.
Yeah.
So it's just again inspiring. And so it's so cool that Dames of Dirt put that on. And I did, though, however, our third run hit a rock that bent my
No.
rim, so popped the seal on my tire because it's got tubeless tires, so got a flat tire. I quit carrying a tube because I swear someone at some point told me it was pointless to carry a tube with tubeless tires because it's hard to change. Like you just need a patch if you get a flat. But they nor I were obviously thinking like, well, what happens if you break the seal of your tubeless
Yeah.
tires? You're not going to seal them on the trail, so putting a tube in would make sense. A girl had a tube, but she'd had it on her bike for like 6 years. So we go through the whole process, and then like there's a pinhole in the tube.
Mm,
So this other gal has a tube, but she has a 27.5, so her tube's a little bit smaller than my 29 tire, but we put it in anyway. At this point, this woman's husband is there. He was a bike mechanic, and he just happened to be, he was riding North Star just separately on his own, but she gave him a call, and I was happy that he came
yeah.
to just like double check things because I accidentally started to take my derailleur off. I don't want to talk about that, but so he came to make sure everything was like in order. And I asked him, I was like, do you think it'll be all right to like ride the rest of the day on this 27.5, or like is it just enough to get me down? He's like, no, you'll be fine. You should be able to shred. We get back on the trail, and minutes later I have another flat, and I think it's just because the rim, like the bend was so bad that it just instantly like pinched the
Yeah.
tube. So from then I had to walk. I walked the fire roads back down. I really don't know how far it was. I didn't pay attention to how long it took me, and I was going slow, and it was a decent walk though. It was a
Yeah.
decent walk. And then at this point, it's 2:30 in the afternoon. There's a group of women on the patio. I stop and chat with them and have a beer because I'm fucking dying of thirst because the whole fire road's just exposed, and it was a very hot day.
Yeah. Oh my God,
So
dude.
grab a beer, and then of course now at this time it's 3 o'clock. I'm like, I have no time to go down to the bottom and like ask the shop to like fix this and come back up because the panel, or dinner rather, was supposed to start at 4. So I just headed down. So I didn't even get 3 laps in. I missed the party lap. I was kind of bummed, but also it's surprising. I thought this, like, I'm smiling as I'm just walking down the road because I'm just thinking to myself, like, of course. I mean, like,
Yeah.
why would I expect anything less? Why would I over here, Miss O'Donnell, whom my dad always says, like, the luck of the Irish, which the luck of the Irish, if you don't know, like, it really means nothing. It's just luck.
Yeah.
It's like good luck, it's bad luck, it's just stupid. But I feel like for the O'Donnell family, a lot of time it's just like fucking bad, stupid, dumb luck. So I'm just like smiling, like so they're just laughing, like, yeah, this would happen to me. Fucking
Yeah.
of course.
Yep.
This is it. But I was also like, hey, I didn't crash. So fuck yeah.
Yes,
Like I just
bitch.
came around a
You were
corner.
able to walk out of there.
Yeah, I was trying to lead the pack because a lot of us in the group I was in hadn't ridden North Star yet that year. And at this point in the day, it was like I said, our third lap, but I was just like, whatever, I don't fucking care. Like, we've gone through this, we've been behind people, and people, if they, want to pass, we've been moving over and like, okay, you want to pass? We've started out as like, no, it's fine, I'll be behind you. And then it's like, okay, I'll pass. I'm like, you're feeling good. So I just took the lead down this trail, like, whatever. I think I am, getting through the terrain, take this corner, and all of a sudden feel it, and I'm like, fuck. But anyways, yeah, I was feeling good, and it was nice to feel good on my bike. And like I said, I was just happy it wasn't from a crash. But yeah, I was smiling so much, I guess, when I got there. A girl I know who's also part of the group, she's a really good snowmobiler that I've ridden with a couple times. She was like, what's going on? Like when she saw me, I was like, oh, well, I'm just trying to walk down the road, whatever. She was like, yeah, I saw you like walking this way with this huge smile on your face. I thought you must be super fucking high. And I was like, not at all. Like, there's just nothing else I can do. And even after my crash, I felt like not good. Obviously, I was in pain, but I was like, hey, I'm able to get down, and I'm able to get
Yeah.
down myself. I'm riding down the trail, like no matter how much pain I'm in, I'm doing it. And said, I think I've talked about it before. There's a point in my life where I definitely would get down in those moments and be the like, why
For
me? Like,
sure.
what the fuck? Like, this sucks. This is so awful. Blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
But
Yep.
I think I've been in so many situations like this
Mm.
now in my life that I have learned that, like, look,
It's part of the course.
yep, and you're in it. There's no fucking thing you
Mm-hmm.
can do right now besides put your focus on getting out of the situation. And after that, you can, like, relax, be bummed, whatever, have the emotions. But when you're in the middle of it, like having a breakdown and being mad and angry, and it doesn't get you anywhere. and things could be worse. Like in both instances, it could have been a bad crash. Like, and that didn't happen. Like I said, I was walking away and whatever. It's like, oh yeah, shit. I paid for a lift ticket. Like, yes, it was a discount, but still, like, I haven't come to a bike park in fucking years. So,
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? What kind of luck? But again, could have been way fucking worse. Could have been paying a full price for a lift ticket.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So, took my bike in to the shop yesterday. They fixed it on the spot. They just like were able to pull the rim out. I did need a new tire. My tire had 2 holes in it from the rock in the bend, but and so they put a beefier tire on for me. So
Okay.
it's
Bless
like
up.
I love it because now looking at it, my back tire's all brand fucking new. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't even want to get it dirty though. I'm like,
Yeah,
it
I
looks so
know.
nice.
That's popping the seal.
And it looks like a brand new bike, so it's like, oh my god, look at that. And I'm
Yes.
like, I want a new front tire. Like, this thing looks beautiful, this
Yeah.
new back tire. But I was like, fuck, that tire was $94. Jesus
Yeah.
fucking Christ.
And they're smaller than car tires and cost like more
Yeah,
for
I didn't
what
even
you're
know. He was
getting.
just like, I would do this. And I was like, sure, but super embarrassed because I had to get some money transferred around. And I was like, oh, I was gonna leave it with you and then
Yeah.
figure out my finances, not
Yeah.
just fix it on the spot and be like calling to activate a card and like, oh, can I split payments? And
Yeah.
figured it all out.
Yeah.
But it was like, oh fuck. But
Mhm.
yeah, so I'm ready to get back on my bike. I think tomorrow I might just bike the road here though for a good distance because I've been wanting to do that for quite a while. And then yeah, so just get on my bike early, do that, and yep, bike time.
Fuck
Bike.
yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
How about you? I mean, we've been on a while now, so uh,
Um,
but I still want to hear from you. I feel like I
yeah.
took over on the biking.
Oh no, that's okay. I haven't been doing much biking at all. I've been doing a lot of working and hanging out with Quincy. We went on a hike this weekend and we did this hike in the Snoqualmie corridor called Lodge Lake, and it's called Lodge Lake because it's right by the lodge.
Mm.
And you hike underneath the ski lifts to get to the lake, and yeah, it's right there. And after the hike, we were coming out from the where the lake is, and Quincy was like, I want to ride the lifts down. I want to ride the lifts down. And I was like, okay, yeah, we'll see what we can do. I was like, we don't have a ticket. Like, I don't know if they're running it. And like when we got out, it was stopped because they have to stop to download people onto the lift.
Mm.
And so I was like, oh, it's turned off. And he just like started bawling, crying. And I'm like,
Oh.
I was like, just give it a second. I was like, just wait. I was like, it might turn back on. And it turned back on. And so we had to hike back up to get to the lift. And when we got there, I was like, oh, shoot, we don't have like our wristbands because we didn't get a ticket. And so I was just like kind of trying to like hide my wrist and like talk to the guy who's loading us, which he was just like in his own world of
Lift
mountain folk.
operating.
Yes, exactly. And so we got to ride the lift down, and he was so scared and stoked and talking about how he wants to ride a lift more often. And so it was really great for him to be like stoked on wanting to do ski lift stuff, because when I would ask him if he wanted to go snowboarding, he'd be like, Matt, no, Matt, no, Matt, no.
Really?
Yeah. And so I was like, okay, fine, bye.
Yeah, see ya. Have fun
And
doing nothing.
yeah, so I'm stoked to hear he's stoked on that, because my life is so up in the air that I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do with winter. And so like thinking of working up at Crystal or something is potentially an option. We shall
Right.
see.
So is your job now? I vaguely remember. Is it a 6-month contract?
Yeah, it's a 6-month deal, but that's based on workload. So I could work there until December, but I don't know what I would be doing past October. I was talking to some of my coworkers the other day, and they were talking about how things might not run much past October. So,
Oh.
yeah, I'm doing site inspections for county roads right now, which is like so I've just been like so off track of like my actual career path. But it's a good leaping stone to get a county job
Yeah.
because your girl wants them bennies, the retirement. Like I just need something stable in my life right now. So,
That reminds me, I want to get a money like person on here. I know we've talked about it before,
yes,
but I've been
financial advisor or
thinking a lot about it in the last couple weeks for sure, and I just got to get my shit together with it.
yeah. Yeah.
So I
Get your
yeah.
ass a Roth IRA or an IRA
So
like
I have
immediately. Oh,
I
oh,
I
you're such
don't
an adult.
well I have one set up that does not have money going into it yet because
That's
I
okay.
didn't I was like I don't have the extra like money in my account to like I
Yeah,
live paycheck
same.
to paycheck. I can't really like put that money there, but I'm like that's
Mm-hmm.
so dumb. Like I can figure that out because if I have the deal that I have, it's like I'm turning down like free money, like a match to what
Yeah.
I put in. So I have got to figure that out. I'm so fucking dumb because my like the accountant I was working at the shop today, like in the office because people were gone and I had the space to do it. And so our accountant, bookkeeper rather, was working in there and I should have asked her while she was there, like, hey, Rachel, what do
Yeah.
I need to do to like get back on setting that up? Like, I think I'm at the point that I just have to say, I want this much money moved to that account.
Mm-hmm.
So I have got to fucking do that. I should just email her right after this because, like I said,
Yeah.
I
Do
set it
it
up
now.
last year and I didn't
Do
put
it
any
now.
money in, and I'm like, Jesus. But yeah, get those bennies, get those
Yeah.
benefits,
Yeah.
and
I want to get established in something, but I also the other day I registered for school
oh,
to start getting my bachelor's in environmental science because
wow.
why not? Like, why not?
What? Where just back at TCC?
Clover Park.
Okay, okay, cool.
Yeah, Clover Park is a technical college out in Lakewood for those of you who aren't lokes and don't know the things that I'm saying.
The
But yeah.
term, yeah, the
And
places.
it's the first quarter, it's the first ever time that they are offering this. So I would be like a guinea pig, which I'm kind of like,
Oh,
fine, I'll be a guinea
really?
pig. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Smile
I
for the camera. I'm gonna try and take a screenshot. I don't think it worked. I don't know. Oh,
oh my
it's
God, I look
working.
so ragged, I feel like. And I think I have rosacea, man. Like, you know how my
I think
cheeks
you've
always
talked
get
about that
so
before.
red? Yeah,
Yeah.
someone said that they thought I did,
Oh,
and I was like,
yeah.
bitch. And then now I'm like, wait, maybe she's probably right.
Yeah, I do. I remember
It's
that. But like, then we looked it
so red
up.
right now.
But then we
But
looked it
also I
up,
was
and it
upset.
seems like the pictures of it like are not like you would just like get
Extreme case.
flushed.
Yeah.
Like the like rosacea seemed like very rashy. But there's different
Painful.
levels of
Yeah. And I
it.
think I maybe got burnt today. I was outside a lot.
But I mean, it's just a little flushing. And just like, people
I
put blush on to get
I
that
know.
look.
And
So,
I'm like, no, I'm too red. I'm too
yeah.
red.
But yeah, I think I got one in there. I don't know how to make it work. But
Right.
anyways, sorry. So that's really exciting. When do you start?
I haven't fully signed up for classes yet because I'm like, okay, I'm taking it very slow. One step at a time. I filled out my FAFSA. Now I need to be like, so how am I gonna pay for this? So, and since I'm technically a single mother on the books,
Right.
I can get it paid for, I'm pretty sure. So I need to look into all of those things. And I have friends who are like in that world so that they could help me out and I could do
Yeah.
workforce and like all this other kind of stuff. So
Cool.
yeah, we'll see what happens. We will freaking see. I just feel like my life is so up in the air, like um with work, with what my future is,
Yeah.
and in my relationship. And yeah, it's a scary place to be, but it's also exciting, but mostly scary.
Yep. Yeah. I feel like that is just like the story of our lives. I
Yeah.
mean, I feel like even people who are married and have good jobs and have kids, it's like you still don't
So
really
hard.
know what's going to happen tomorrow, especially if you have young kids, right? Then
Yeah.
I feel like you're always thinking about like life as your kid getting older and like, okay,
Yeah.
what's going to happen when they're at this next stage of life and this next stage of life? It's just It's always work in progress.
It
And
is. It for real is.
but I do think that our generation has a lot more people in it that are in their mid 30s, like kidless
Yeah.
and or careerless.
Mm-hmm.
And whereas like our parents'
We're
generation was
full
like
on
they, yeah,
established,
yeah,
had families, like stayed at the same job for years,
yeah,
stayed in the
exactly.
same relationship.
Exactly. So it's
For the
like,
kids.
yeah, totally. So it's just we're doing life a lot differently, I feel
Yeah,
like, than our parents.
1000%. And historically,
Yep, yeah.
for sure,
Whether by
dude.
choice or not. I mean,
This
it's
economy
just
is fucked up. I'll
it's
tell you that
it
much.
is. It's
And
scary.
nothing's guaranteed, honestly. Like the things that we've been through in our lifetime has been pretty wild. Like we witnessed 9/11 happen. I You weren't in high school yet, but it was like my freshman year of high school. It would have been like your 8th grade year of middle school. Like,
I think it was um no, I was younger. I think it was like sixth grade.
oh
Yeah,
shit.
because oh wait. Yeah. Shit.
No, because you're 1 year younger than I am.
You're right. It was eighth grade. It was eighth
Yeah.
grade. Yeah, because I was like, wait, TK graduated in 2003, and
Yes.
yeah, because now I just had a vivid memory. I was thinking I had two memories combining. One, we were out on the field because there was like an earthquake, and that was like a
Yes.
big earthquake. I think it was sixth
That
grade.
was 6th grade.
Then 2001, I remember now, like who my like sitting in this one specific teacher's classroom, like watching TV because that's all
Yeah.
we did for days was like watch TV. I begged my mom not to go to school that day because I thought we were all gonna die. I thought all the bombs were coming. I was like, we're
Yeah, for
gonna
real. Yeah.
die. I was terrified of war, but
Yeah. Yeah, it's
still
scary,
am. I
dude.
mean, but
Yes, it's
yeah,
terrifying.
yeah, we've seen a lot, and then the crash of like 2008. I mean, these fucking presidents, the fact that our rights are being revoked.
Oh my gosh.
Um,
Yeah.
shit's weird.
Yeah.
There's no
Mhm.
promises.
No,
It's
and like the housing market is just outrageous.
mm-hmm.
Unless you're like heir to some old money or like a badass motherfucker making a business out there for yourself, then it's hard out there for a pimp.
It show is. It show is. I feel like I am just getting to a point of like a little bit of a breakthrough, not financially, but
Yeah.
like I don't know, seeing a light.
Yeah.
Whereas there was a time that I didn't. That light went very dark. That candle was burnt out because I was just like, man, how have I been at some of these things for so long, and or just in my life, and like I don't, it's not fucking happening. And I was just telling
Yeah.
Andrew this, I think on my, no, it was just the other night. We were just out having a couple beers, and I was like, you know, I, when I was like 18, I was searching on the internet for outdoor remote jobs.
Yeah.
That back then was like not a thing. Like I still wanted to go to school at that point for kinesiology. I mean, I started working at a golf course because that was the closest thing
Yeah.
in town I could get to like
We worked
working
there together.
outside. Yeah. And then, then I went to Alaska, and when I came back from Alaska, I was just like, what the fuck do I do now? Because I've experienced this thing that I love, and how do I keep doing this? But then after doing the guiding thing for a few years, I was like, I don't really like this that much. But what else am I supposed to do? I don't have experience in other things like marketing. And I'm just like, here I am at 35, so like 15 years later, that I finally feel like I've reached the point of getting
Knowing what
a remote job in an industry that I love, but I'm not even fully there yet. I'm not fully
Yeah, yeah,
there,
yeah.
but it's almost there because I've asked for it, and I'm hopefully getting it soon. But
Yeah.
it's just so much more to me, which I didn't even realize, like I said, until I'm talking to Andrew, is like, wow, like, yeah, I've been trying to do this for a long fucking time of make work like for me. Make
Yeah.
work for me in a
Yes.
lifestyle that I want to live.
What a
And it
concept. What a fucking concept.
yeah, and I feel like we see it on on the gram, on the social media, all these youngsters, 20-some-year-olds, like just going in asking for $30 an hour and just working like remotely and doing this, that, and the other. And sometimes, yeah, I'm bitter about it because I'm like, I've been trying to find this in my life for 15 fucking years, and I've worked tooth and nail to get there. And I mean, I have other, it's not just this. I'm not just settled at this one job doing marketing for a shop in town remotely. I still have other things that I'm doing to be able to like even make this life happen and enable me to like be able to travel more but not have to take all the time off to do it, to be able to go somewhere and work from there. Because I don't need to take every time off. I can go somewhere and work, but I also want to like be in that spot and take a fucking day off there, but I don't need to just take time off just to go places. I want to be able to just do it all, like not have an excuse, like unfortunately
we can't though, we're adults now.
We
got bills, bitch.
But that's exactly why I've always felt that I needed to have a job that I could do from anywhere, because I can't just fucking take time off. I've never been in a financial situation or had the job that I could just take the time off. So if I'm able to go fucking travel to the desert, I don't know why I don't really like the desert, but for fuck's sake, whatever. If I just wanted to go somewhere and if I don't have to take the time off and I can work, a few hours here, then go for a bike ride, then come back and work for a few hours, like with the access we have to service and the internet and hotspots and things like that now, it's just so much more possible to be able to work from the road. So yeah, that's in my dream life since before fucking hashtag van life was a goddamn thing. And now I can't even have van life because it's too cool for me. And cool. I'll stay in a fucking hotel. I don't care. Like, give me the hotel and the electricity. I don't need to sleep in my car, okay? But I just want the ability to go to the coast for 2 days without having to take the time off.
Yes.
So yeah, I think I'm seeing some light. I'm seeing a way that I can get financially stable, but have the freedom and flexibility to not be in one spot and asking for fucking permission to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Because I don't like asking permission, which is funny because I said I always am the person to ask for permission. But with certain things, like when it comes to breaking rules, like I don't want to break rules, but like I also am going to do what I want and I don't want to be told what to do. So yes. So yeah, there's the like, I don't know.
Balance.
I'm not a rule breaker, but just don't fucking tell me what to do and don't keep me in a box.
Rules on me and I won't be a rule breaker.
Yeah, exactly. Don't keep me in a box and I will bust out. But yeah, well, anyways, we've probably gone a bit over an hour, hopefully not too much, but again, we haven't had a one-on-one conversation in like 3 weeks, so it was good to have, and it's going to be super great to have another guest on, and hopefully we will then have kind of a spiral of guests throughout the rest of the next couple months, kind of the rotating like TNA and then TNA and guest and
tits and ass, baby.
Here. Yeah,
that stands for tits and ass.
Tits and ass. So yeah, like I said, if you have not listened to that live episode, do it, because we have gotten great feedback, whether it's from our best friends or not. It was great. They loved it. They loved that. And I think you will too. And then you'll be able to like fully understand, have a little leg up on the conversations that we're having in the future with these people. So do that. Listen to the episode. If you listen to any episode, rate, review, subscribe to the show. Help us show up somehow on some kind of leaderboards. I don't even know how you find us, honestly, because I just type in obviously tearing it up. So I'm not sure how people can find us without directly like being linked to us. But if you rate, review, and subscribe, then we somehow magically show up. And maybe when people type in like women's podcast or I don't know, we might show up. I'm not too sure. I got to find out what our key words are or something like that.
Bad bitches,
marketing jargon,
tits and ass,
all of those
doing
things.
Doing
it. So yeah, super excited to be back, and hopefully, we can stay pretty regular for the busy ass crazy summer months we've got, or weeks now, but that's okay. Anyways, thank you guys all for tuning in, and we will talk to you next time.
Bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode and would do us a huge favor, since we don't have any sponsors or anything like that, and would rate and review us on whatever platform it is you use, Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, whatever it is. And if you're listening and downloading just through the website, tearingituppodcast.com, leave comments. We'll definitely engage back with you. And on social media right now, we're just on Instagram. Tearing It Up Podcast is the handle. Like the post, share the post, comment on the post, whatever it is you got. Show us your love so we just stay relevant and show up in the rankings at all. So again, rate and review, please. And we'll see you next time. Thanks.